What's up? Ghost Fictions is here, and we're back again. This is a story where Izuku was the son of Gojo Satoru. Izuku Yagi, a child who was put down by the society for being quirkless in a society where quirk is everything. He had a happy childhood up to the age of 4, where everything went wrong in so many ways. First, his parents walked away from him. His sister walked out on him and became one of his main bullies. Then his friends who also took part in the bullying. It was a living hell. But what Izuku doesn't know is that he is part of a powerful clan with one of its member earning the title of the strongest man and even called God. But before we start, please consider subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Don't forget to check the description for more informations and support the amazing author Armored Lord 1115 for writing this story. Now, let's get into the story. No one Pav. Izuku Yagi was an abnormal child. He was born with white spiky hair and bright blue eyes, which doesn't match his parents, as such many people would often confuse him for someone else's child. But aside from that, Izuku had a normal life, well, as normal as it can be, as he always knew that his stepfather Toshinori never took too much of a liking to him, as he favored his sister over him. The reason to him was unknown, but what nobody knows is that Toshinori Yagi, or better yet All Might, the symbol of peace and the #1 hero, was a petty and unstable man, as his nemesis had natural white hair, and anyone with natural white hair, he associated them with him. It was something that was beaten out of him by his surrogate father Gran Torino, who understood that Toshinori is suffering from depression as his master and mother figure. Death affected him as she was the only one who believed in him despite being quirkless. It was at the age of 4 that thing went downhill for Izuku, as he was diagnosed as quirkless. It would be a lie if Toshinori didn't feel slightly bad for Izuku, but whenever he looked at him, he would see his nemesis instead of his son and would think that this is karma punishing him for killing innocent people. So his doubts were always eased and instead started to praise his daughter Izumi Yagi for having a quirk, which eventually had her grew an ego as she bullied Izuku in order to stop him from pursuing his foolish dream of becoming a hero, as despite her ego, she loved her brother and didn't want him to share a bad fate. But eventually she would drown in pleasure, as using her quirk on her brother brought great joy to her, as it made her feel better of herself, not realizing that she was doing the wrong. She had other kids join in, and one of them was Katsuki Bakugo, a guy who believed that those with weak quirks are extras, and those who are quirkless are the bottom trash of society who shouldn't be alive in a world where the strong only live. But how wrong this statement is. Izuku was now seen sitting on a roof as he was wearing his sunglasses. It was kind of a habit, as he always felt being overloaded by a lot of information whenever his eye was exposed, so to stop it, he had his eye covered either by the use of sunglasses or a blindfold, which he can see through for some unknown reason. He never told anyone about it, not even his parents, as he realized that he would never see them in that light or even confide in them, as they only determine his worth by his quirk, which he have none. So that was an ability he kept to himself and trained it privately, learning that he can create a barrier between him and other, well, that's what he think at least, since most of the physical attack never reached him, but he never showed it to anyone. Izuku was seen looking at the sunset with a small smile. To people he looked like a shy, stuttering kid, but in reality he is nonchalant and sometimes playful. It's nice, isn't it? Izuku turned around to be met with a man who had the same spiky white hair. He would have assumed that he was a relative of his, which was true, but he shrugged the thought away as he answered the guy, not wanting to be rude. Izuku? Yes, it is. The name is Izuku Yagi, but I'd prefer you call me Izuku, since my last name mean nothing to me. The name Gojo Satoru. It's nice to meet you. Gojo was seen sitting next to Izuku on the edge of the building as they admired the sunset. Izuku strangely felt sense of peace around Gojo, which he can't explain. Gojo, although had peaceful face, was clenching his fist occasionally, as seeing one of his descendant casted away by his own family brought a bad taste, and if he weren't a spirit he would have hunted them down and killed them. Gojo. Izuku, do you believe in curses and spirits? Izuku looked at Gojo strangely and took a thinking pose before he looked at the sunset once more. Izuku. This world is big and people have all kind of abilities, so curses and spirit aren't far-fetched of a possibility. Gojo. You pretty much wondering why would I ask such a question? Well, have you ever wondered why you are capable of pulling things like stopping physical attack from reaching you despite being quirkless? Izuku was taken aback. He actually never thought about this and was also surprised at how the guy knew about his abilities. It isn't something he showed to anyone. Izuku. If I am being honest, I never thought about it. The only answer I give myself was that I had a quirk which was awakened late in my life. Gojo, shake head. No, this isn't a quirk. What you use are called curse energy. As for your eyes, well, this is something you inherited from your biological father family side. Izuku, ask. How come you know so much about me? Gojo sighed as he took off his blindfold, revealing the same eyes as Izuku, which surprised him, and knew that his suspicion is being confirmed and that somehow the guy in front of him was a relative of his. Gojo. You see kid, I am not actually alive, you could say I am a spirit, and I came here for one goal, and that is to raise you as I saw how your family treated you, and as one of your ancestor, it's my duty to take care of you, so what do you say? Izuku was honestly speechless right in front of a man who he don't know except his name claimed to be his ancestor, and that he was pretty much seeing his spirit. He didn't know if he should trust him or not, but then again he knew a lot of things about him that he don't know himself. Izuku closes his eye. Usually I wouldn't accept something like that from a stranger who I hardly know, but you know a lot about me and my power than anyone else, and besides our resemblances are uncanny, so I accept. Gojo, cheerfully. Great. Also fun fact, nobody besides you can see me, so be careful when speaking to me. Izuku nodded his head, clearly understanding the situation, as Gojo then disappeared from Izuku's eye. Gojo, telepathically. Don't worry kid, I am close by. Izuku, sigh. Great. Izuku stood up from the roof as he walked downstairs, finally reaching the ground floor as he walked outside to the street. The night is making its appearance as he walked home, quietly placing infinity around him to keep him safe. Gojo, telepathically. That's amazing Izuku, you can place infinity around you with no knowledge about curse power, you have a lot of potential that I intend to bring out. Izuku, smile, telepathically. Thank you, infinity, that's a cool name for a powerful technique. Gojo, telepathically. I know right. Izuku then walked in silence as he found himself in front of a gate which was closed. He sighed once more as he jumped from the wall of the gate as he brought the keys and opened the door of the house. As he walked inside, seeing his family eating without him, not even acknowledging his presence, which enraged Gojo, but Izuku was calm and not even fazed. Izuku, telepathically. You will get used to it. Gojo, telepathically. Why are you allowing this Izuku? Izuku, telepathically. I don't want to be acknowledged just for my power, or I would have showed my curse power from the beginning, but I don't want to be seen for that, I want to be seen for my personality, and besides I don't see them as parents, I only see them as people who give me roof on top of my head. Gojo, despite being angry, he had to agree with the way Izuku is thinking and calm down as he promised that he will be the father figure that Izuku wants. He won't let anyone harm him again, and will train him to be the strongest man in the world, even surpassing that buff in All Might. Izuku's purpose is clear now. With the help of his soon-to-be father, he will become the strongest man in the world. No one pav. Izuku find himself waking up in a rather nice room. That was his room. Despite being neglected, he didn't let that affect his life, as he made sure to become responsible for himself, as he knew better than anyone that if he can't clean behind himself and organize himself, he can't expect for anyone else to take care of him, even if they are his parents. Izuku then groaned slightly as he stood up, walking towards the bathroom. He splashed some water on his face, opening his eyes, revealing his blue eyes that drove every girl in his school into massive nosebleeds. He then went out of his room. The hallway was dark, which signified two things: either they are sleeping or they are out of the house. He just hoped that they be out of the house, as he get to have more freedom around the house, without restricting himself to certain rules around them. Walking to the kitchen, he brought the ingredient for some pancakes as he made lots of them. He was quite good at cooking, I guess it's perks having to be mature quickly. Gojo. So you can cook, huh? What a neat talent you have there. Izuku smiled. Well, cooking isn't bad, having to taste different cuisine is truly a wonder, besides I am sure you know why I cook, since they pretty much stopped cooking for me, so I had to learn to survive on my own. Gojo, with a hidden anger. Now I want to kill them even more than before. Izuku, jokes. Well, suit yourself, I don't really care about them, besides they can't arrest a spirit if they don't want to be hunted, that is. Gojo smiled at Izuku's cheerfulness and jokes as he realized that Izuku inherited most of his trait, and he was glad as he is planning to make Izuku into a Gojo Jr. by the end of all of this. Izuku then placed the plate on the table. Izuku. Do spirits even eat? Gojo. No. We don't eat, we are dead either way. Izuku nodded as he ate, as he kept talking with Gojo about fun thing they did in their life with Gojo, talking about how he scared the higher ups into canceling a lot of their execution on innocent people, and how he liked to mess with his students and friends. Izuku then stood up as he walked to the bathroom, taking off his clothes, revealing a somewhat toned body as he opened the water, letting the hot water refreshing him. As for Gojo, he was seen sitting outside watching TV, being amazed at the new system, which is the Hero Society. Izuku then walked outside and sat next to Gojo. Izuku. So what do you have planned for me? Gojo. Well, I will train you of course, but since you seem to be well built already, we will move to how to use your curse power, but I have to give you some little information on what you are using to be safe. Tell me, what do you know about curse energy? Izuku. Don't know really, aside from what the movie depicted it to be. Gojo. Movie. Izuku. Yeah, curse energy, which place a spell on someone, and depending on what the curse is, he can either die or be hunted with bad omen. Gojo laughed so hard as he enjoyed how people are referring curses as some type of spell that punish people. Gojo. No, that is incorrect, but that was quite funny to say the least. Curse energy is born from negative emotions, such as grief and anger. These negative feelings are common in human society, so almost everyone possesses cursed energy. If this amount is higher than a certain degree, it grants the person the ability to see curses, which is very rare among the human race, but from what I see so far those curses evolved creating quirks. Izuku was quite amazed with the piece of information as he pretty much know the history of how quirks came to be. It wasn't something that just came out of nowhere, it pretty much existed for years, but nobody was wiser. Izuku, ask. Why did quirk chose to appear now? Gojo. Who knows, really, there is a lot of speculation which I am not really sure if that holds true, but what I could guess it that the curses have been gone for years. Now I guess Itadori is dead or something. Izuku. Isn't that one of your students? What does he have to do with this? Gojo. Itadori is the host of the King of Curses Sukuna. As long as Sukuna is out there, then more curses will appear, but since it has been over more than a decade, then he is dead, unless Sukuna made him immortal somehow, which I find hard to believe, as Sukuna pretty much dislike being trapped inside Itadori and want to take over his body. Izuku nod his head, finally understanding what Gojo want to relay to him. Izuku. So pretty much dead Sukuna means dead curses. Gojo grin as he nod his head, patting Izuku head, making Izuku kind of happy. Gojo. Correct. Now then, how about we continue the conversation about curse energy? Since we launched away from the explanation, there is multiple type of curse energy, the first being cursed energy detection, and like the name implies, if you have above average curse energy then you can see curses, but since quirks are here, then this will be out of the way, but what you need to know is that the strength of a sorcerer or curse is generally assessed by their levels of cursed energy. Strong cursed energy can result in physical pressure that instills fear into those who feel it as a method of intimidation. Izuku. Well, that's a cool way to use curse energy. Gojo. I know, right? Anyways, this is one way someone can assess the general level of power based solely on cursed energy. The same concept can be applied to a jujutsu battle. Reading an opponent's cursed energy is an effective way to predict their next move and keep track of their location. Prediction based on cursed energy can backfire when faced with a fighter in cases where a fighter's physical prowess outclasses their cursed energy. Physically fast and strong fighters with low cursed energy are often unpredictable to enemy sorcerers. Izuku. I understand so far. Gojo. Good, that would be the first type of curse energy. Moving on to the second type, we have obviously controlling curse energy, which is the basic foundation of any jujutsu sorcerer. Think of it like control is the basic in anything in life, like controlling the fire you use to heat your food, as more can burn the food, and less fire means not well cooked food. Control over cursed energy requires innate skill and vigorous training, but since you are my descendant, this will be easy for you, but we will still go through the training, which is to control emotion. Remember what I told you at the beginning, curse energy come from emotion, so you don't waste their power supply, even while you're overcome with emotion. Most sorcerers have to make cursed energy flow, so most instinctively believe it starts from the negative feelings in their stomach and flows through the rest of the body. However, thinking of one's body as different sections is what delays the flow of their energy. In order to understand this cycle, one must realize that they exist in the world with their entire mind, body, and soul as one. Izuku. Well, that is interesting. I guess I am in for a massive workout, but it's better this way since I had no idea about my power, so that is good. Gojo. Good, I am glad you are motivated. Let's get to the third part of the curse energy, and that is obviously just like how to control curse energy, there is always how to apply it, as applying cursed energy to physical attacks can be as effective as a curse technique when it comes to gifted combatants who prefer close quarters like me and Itadori. I was also able to successfully overpower multiple special grade curses using only cursed energy manipulation after deactivating my limitless technique, since not always limitless will protect me, as there are weapons that can cancel curse energy, like inverted spear of heaven, which for a fun fact I got stabbed by it through the throat, but I survived it, so no worries. Izuku. Wow, that's troublesome to say the least, and I thought I would be op. Gojo. Now, there is also protective curse energy which coat their skin in cursed energy to harden their body and increase their ability to block incoming curse-related attacks. The same application can be used offensively. Imbuing physical attacks with cursed energy will increase their destructive power to superhuman levels. Izuku. Well, that is nice to have a defensive ability other than limitless. Gojo. Well, good, you understand. Conventional weapons can also be infused with cursed energy to increase their strength. Imbuing too much cursed energy at one time to a normal weapon and compromise its integrity and destroy it, so a sorcerer must only infuse a little energy at a time. Imbuing moderate amounts cursed energy over time can transform a normal weapon into a cursed tool. Izuku. Neat, I might start using sword I guess to increase my chances. Gojo. Nice, well you are your own man so you can do whatever you want, but it's good to increase your arsenal. Izuku nodded in understanding as he imagined how much he can do with curse energy. Gojo. Just like there is curse energy we also possess reverse curse energy, but it's rare to find a user of it, as it's quite difficult to say the least, as cursed energy is born from negativity, so human flesh can't be regenerated from it, even if it can be reinforced. By multiplying negative energy together, positive reverse cursed energy can be created. This can only be done using a reverse curse technique, which requires extremely complex and sophisticated cursed energy control. Izuku. Cool. Reverse curse energy is quite useful. Gojo. I know right, but keep in mind it's quite difficult, so don't be upset if you didn't get it quickly or didn't get it at all. Now lastly we have vow and risk, which is a key factor that can affect cursed energy. The greater the risk to the user the more their cursed energy will react. It is believed that the fastest way to raise one's level as a sorcerer is a binding vow with their life as the trade-off. Self-imposed stipulations that are harmful or potentially so to the creator can increase their cursed energy and their curse techniques in particular. This concept also applies to why normal humans can suddenly see curses in a life or death situation. Human senses are heightened when their life is danger because of the instinctive fight or fight reflex. The same concept applies to someone's ability to sense curses. And normal humans' cursed energy will rise if their life is in danger of being cursed, allowing them to perceive it. Izuku. Well that is risky, I guess this is to be used under heavy circumstances. Gojo. Correct. Now then, are you ready for your training? It's quite simple really, and doesn't really need to train yourself physically. Now hold that cute teddy bear and start channeling your curse energy moderately. Izuku nodded confused, but he complied as he took the innocent teddy bear and channeled his curse energy inside it as it stayed quiet. Gojo. Now then, I want you to put this movie. What was it, conjure? Izuku paled when he heard the name as he suddenly got punched. Looking down, he saw the not so innocent teddy bear punching him, freaking him out, which in result got him punched once more as it jumped off him and started doing series of punches in air. Gojo laughed at his descendant getting punched by a teddy bear. Izuku. What the hell? Gojo. Remember what I told you, you need to control your emotion in order to become a good sorcerer like yours truly, so put the movie on. We Satoru faced the threat head on, so no scary movie can scare us. Izuku reluctantly placed the movie on the TV as he was ordered to close the light and shut the curtains as he was scared of doing so, but after more convincing and encouraging from Gojo, he shut the blinder as he was told he can eat anything as long as he channeled curse energy at the teddy bear. The movie started with an innocent family. I didn't watch the movie since I am not a fan of horror movie, as he smiled and imagined him having his own family, which was noticed by Gojo, who was sad that Izuku, despite acting tough, he still want family love, and then he smiled as he was motivated in becoming Izuku dad. The movie continued as he ate his chips slowly, not removing his eyes even once from the TV screen. Before long a jump scare appeared, making jump as well, which earned him a punch in the face once more as he rubbed his bruised cheek looking at the teddy bear trying to intimidate it, but it was to no avail as it's a non-living object, so he sighed once more as he continued watching till the end. Gojo. You did good. Well done. Izuku, annoyed. I don't know if I should be scared or traumatized from watching the movie or be pissed that I got punched by a fucking teddy bear that was innocent 2 hours ago. Gojo. Well, you did better than Itadori. The guy blew a fuse when he got punched for the third time and threw the teddy bear at a wall, but got punched once more by it. Izuku. I definitely know how he feels right now. Gojo. Now then, put this. Izuku sighed once more as he placed the movie on the TV as he knew what the movie is roughly about and was told that who watch it cry, but he said that he is a man and men never cry, so he watched it. Izuku, confident. I am man, so I never cry. Gojo, grin. We will see, I will prepare the tissues. Izuku then sat relaxing on the couch once more holding the teddy bear channeling his curse energy as he ate his popcorn watching the movie. He was doing good so far until the movie got more depressing and more depressing by minute and he was trying to hold his tear muttering words. Izuku, mutter. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, men never cry, I will prevail, god damn it. He got punched of course as he was trying to hold his nerve while Gojo was covering his mouth, trying to stop the laugh as he watches soon-to-be son being tortured by a movie. The movie then got to the point where the man jumped to protect the love of his life, getting killed in the process as the woman dramatically ran towards her dying husband as he told her those cliché bullshit of a romance. Line as Izuku heard the husband say, "My love, don't cry, you look beautiful when you smile, just marry someone who is good, blah blah blah," as he died in her arms, and she screamed in agony. Izuku, despite wanting to laugh at the cliché story, he was definitely touched as he was punched, but this time he wasn't angry as he was planning to punch himself to not cry in front of his soon-to-be father. Gojo, grin. "So how was it?" Izuku, putting a facade. "It was okay." Gojo, smirk. "Okay. What's up with those tears then?" Izuku, mutter. "Damn it." Gojo then handed Izuku a tissue as he blew his nose in it before throwing it in the trash can. The whole day was spent in Izuku watching all type of movie from horror, romance, drama, action, and so on. By the end he was bruised up as Gojo give him a thumbs up. "Gojo, thumbs up. You were so cool out there, Izuku, you handled all enemies of mankind like a hero. I bet even All Might will faint from tears, horror after watching those movies." Izuku, smile. "Thanks dad." Gojo halted when Izuku called him dad before he gave a smile on his face as he was quite happy that Izuku started to see him as a father figure. In their second day he didn't want to rush him, but coming from him was an accomplishment. Gojo then hugged Izuku as he tensed at first before he warmed up in his father hug. "Gojo. I am happy that you see me as a father, and I am quite honored to take that position, son." Izuku, tear up. "Thanks dad." The lovely moment was interrupted by the teddy bear punching Izuku as he forgot he was channeling his curse energy in it, making him slightly pissed as he chased the teddy bear around the house, leaving an amused Gojo. "Gojo. Well, I guess that's it for his first day of training. I will make sure to make him into a strong sorcerer and achieve his dream of becoming the #1 hero. You better watch out, All Might, because you pissed the wrong clan, and one day that title will belong to Izuku, and you will be forgotten while he will be remembered for years to come, just like how people remember me. I just hope the other are there as well to help Izuku in his path." No one Pav. It has been 5 years ever since Izuku met Gojo, and their bond was strong as they have maintained a father and son relationship. Izuku have took the liberty of changing his last name, which went unnoticed by his former family, since they haven't bothered to check on him, so Izuku is now Izuku Satoru. We could see Izuku sitting in the couch as in front of him was Gojo Satoru, who had a grim and sad look as he was about to drop an announcement to Izuku, and he hopes that by the end Izuku could forgive him. Izuku. "Father, why have you called me here?" Gojo. "Son, I need you to listen to me well, there is something I want to tell you." Izuku. "I am listening." Gojo. "You remember what I first told you when we first met?" Izuku. "That you were my ancestor." Gojo. "Yes, but that's not what I am talking about, you know that I am sprit correct." Izuku nodded his head as he felt like he wouldn't like the outcome of this talk and hoped that it's something normal. Gojo. "Well, you see, I was given time to stay here, which was 5 years. I never told you because I didn't want you to worry about me and rather enjoy your childhood that you've missed, and sadly today is my last day here since I will have to return to the afterlife with her. I want it or not, I have no control over it." Izuku, tearing up. "You can't, you promised you will be here for me, dad." Gojo. "Sorry son, I had no hand in this matter and I never lied. I will be there for you, watching you and guiding you from up there." Izuku cried as Gojo comforted him, but his body was fading slowly. Izuku tried grabbing onto his father, who had a sad look. Izuku. "You can't leave me now, please." Gojo. "Please promise me this, that you will not stray from your path and you will become the best of the best because I believe in you." Izuku, wipe his eye. "I promise." Gojo, smile widely. "Good. Now smile and good luck in your journey of becoming the strongest." Izuku fulfilled his father request by giving a big smile with Gojo, then removing his blindfold as he gave a thumbs up and smiled, showing his teeth before he vanished. Izuku dropped to the ground as he cried his heart out. It was at times like this that he was glad that his former parents aren't at home to see him being pathetic, even when his father told him it's okay to cry, but he didn't want to show sign of weakness to those he consider his enemy. Now he looks around him to see the house he made so many memories with his father. He was tempted to stay here, but he knew that the reason why he was here for long was because of his father, but now that he isn't here, he won't be able to stay here for much longer as he need to leave sooner or later. Izuku then wore some rather nice clothes that he bought from his own savings as he intended to stay most of the day out on the street to take his mind off, and he knew that his former parents wouldn't care if he returned or not. Walking on the street, he hadn't smiled much as he maintained a neutral look, but he was definitely getting a lot of attention from the girls in the street. It's not every day you get to see a hot eye walking in plain sight. Izuku thought. "I will never get used to this attention." "Excuse me." Izuku looked to his left to see a girl who had an innocent face, but her eyes betrayed that emotion. Izuku. "Yes, how can I help you? Can you please go out with me?" She bows waiting for answer. Izuku knew her intention, which was easy to read from her eyes, and aside from that he had the 6 eyes he could see in the corner of his eyes, a group of girls as well, so he knew that they see him as some trophy, which he didn't like at all, since he is not a property. Izuku. I decline. Desperate. What? But why? Don't I look good? Izuku. It's not girls' look that I seek, besides we hardly know each other, and besides I could see in your eyes that you only see me as some trophy that you could win, but sorry, I am not that easy or cheap. Izuku turned around as he walked away from the girl who deflated, but she tried to press her breast on him, as she think this is every woman's secret technique, which is seduction, but that's Izuku Satoru, so her face was smashed into an invisible wall. What the hell is this? She tried punching the invisible wall, but to no avail as Izuku turned towards her with a bored expression. He could obviously hear the snicker of the other girls. Izuku. Give it up. I placed infinity around me, so it's impossible to touch me unless I wanted to, so get somewhere else. The girl was angry as she stormed away to her friends, who was seen laughing at her, and Izuku concluded that she was given a bet as the girls had smartphone out recording her humiliation. He then continued walking towards the peaceful street of Musatafu, but that would soon end when an explosion was heard. Being the curious he is, he walked towards the scene to see civilians and heroes standing watching something he couldn't see, but he obviously saw the fire, but he could hear the conversation made. Random man. Isn't that the villain All Might was fighting? Random women. Yeah. Where is All Might? Random man too. But the problem, he have a hostage and the heroes can't do anything. The last part intrigued him a lot. Of villain have a hostage and the heroes aren't doing anything. He went through the crowd to see Death Arms, Mount Lady, Backdraft, Hamui Woods and other no-named heroes. Looking at the scene, he saw a sludge villain holding a short girl with orange eyes and orange hair, angry as she was violently trying to shake of the sludge from off her, but to no avail as the sludge had a good grip on her. He could see a hammer in front of her, and it clicked to him. This must be Nobara Kujisaki, one of the reincarnation that his father told him about. You bastards, let me go. Get your hand off me, you bunch of cowards. Izuku looked to see a young man of average height and appears to have a slender build when wearing baggy clothing, but actually has a lean and muscular physique. He also has relatively large light brown eyes and spiky pink hair that's styled in an undercut fashion. It clicked once more to him that was Yuji Itadori. Looking at the second person, he see a tall, dark-haired boy with light green eyes that was Megumi Fushiguro. Apparently he learned that they attempted to save her, but they weren't quick as the heroes have incapacitated them and are holding him. He was kind of pissed that a lot of heroes are busy putting them down instead of using their number to fight the villain. Death Arms. Damn it, my quirk isn't suited for this. Mount Lady. I can't pass here without doing property damage. Hamui Woods. I can't use my quirk without it being burned by the fire. Backdraft. I am busy putting the fire. Izuku then walked towards the front of the crowd as he jumped from the tape with Death Arm trying to incapacitate Izuku as well from killing himself, but he found himself unable to touch him. Death Arms. What the hell is this, why can't I touch him? Everyone was shocked that Death Arms couldn't touch Izuku. The 2 boys that were incapacitated stopped squirming in the hold of the no-name heroes. And happily. Gojo sensei. Izuku. Leave it to me, Yuji and Megumi. Izuku then teleported, suddenly appearing in front of the sludge, scaring him in the process as he threw a tendril towards him, making everyone scream for the kid name, but the hit never connected as it stopped in its track. Sludge. What's happening, why can't I kill you? Izuku then removed Nobara from the sludge hold easily as he placed her on the floor coughing. Nobara. Gojo sensei. Izuku. We will talk later. The sludge villain was seen jumping towards Izuku as the crowd screamed along with the pros. Nobara. Sensei, watch out. The sludge fell as he was brought to his knees. Enraged, he attempted to attack once more, but Izuku disappeared once more, appearing next to the sludge as he attempted another attack, but Izuku continuously teleported around him. Izuku for the last time appeared behind him as he then brought his hand up, punching the sludge while holding back, which resulted in the sludge to be blown away as the air he generated was strong enough to change the weather, making it rain, which also put the fire out. The sludge was seen splattered everywhere around the buildings as everyone was in silence before the crowd erupted into cheers. Random male. Did you see that he just took out the villain easily? Random male too. He also changed the weather, how cool is that? Random female. He looks hot. Random kid. Wow, the villain couldn't even touch him, he's so awesome. In the middle of the crowd we could see Inko Yagi, Toshinori Yagi and Izumi Yagi shocked. Their jaw were in the floor when they realized that their son was able to defeat the villain. Toshinori, shocked. Inko, wasn't he quirkless? Inko. Yes, he is, unless he was a late bloomer. Toshinori. Or maybe he received it from him. Izumi. Dad, don't you think that you are exaggerating it? I don't think he would give such an op quirk to Da. I mean Izuku, besides you told me that you caved his skull and that he died. Inko. She has a point, Tashi. Toshinori grumbles. I will call Izawa and Nezu later. The three walked away, leaving Izuku to grab Nobara into a bridal style as he teleported once more in front of Megumi and Itadori. Izuku. Hello you two, sorry I am late. Megumi. It's okay, I am glad you came, sensei. Itadori. You were so cool out there, it's good to see you in action again. Death Arm. Hey you white kid. Izuku looked behind him to see Death Arms trying to touch him, but to no avail. Izuku had bored expression on his face. Izuku. Yes, how can I help you? Death Arms, angry. Do you know how dangerous what you just did? Izuku. No, and I don't care how dangerous it is. Kamui Woods, angry. You could have been injured or got killed. Izuku. That is if he can touch me, that is, besides I intervened since you cowards didn't have the balls to save her from being suffocated. Mount Lady, gasp. Our quirks weren't suited for this. Izuku, pissed. Suited for this? Do you need a reason to save someone? After all, you four are pros, so you should have been taught that a long time ago. Besides, I have many ways this situation could have been handled. I think the backdraft could have defeated the sludge by spraying water on it, so don't tell me that idea never crossed your minds, because the only thing you did was restrain those two from saving their friend and had trouble putting them down and had used every hero to keep them down, which you could have used that number to defeat the villain instead of trying to restrain 15-year-old children. The heroes were shocked as they never actually thought about this, and everyone in the crowd started murmuring, and by now they were booing the heroes that were there as they realized how true Izuku words is. Izuku used his six eyes power to read their intention and realized what their goal was the whole time. Izuku. Your only goal in this was how flashy you can be and who will take the spotlight of defeating the villain instead of how to efficiently take down the villain without causing damage to the building. Random Male. You heroes suck. Random Male 2. How dare you people leave a child to suffocate to death. Random Male 3. Get out of here, you people don't deserve the title of heroes. Random Kid. How uncool. And I thought Kamui Woods is cool. Izuku. I hope you learn from today and work on improving yourself, because next time you won't be able to fix your mistakes, because once someone die they can't be brought back, and not many apologies to the parents victim can fix what has been done. Izuku then turned around as he walked away, not without checking on Nobara, which she was okay thanks to her curse energy, as they walked out of the scene, leaving a deflated heroes and Mount Lady who left feeling ashamed and humiliated. She had to admit she was an amateur and wanted to steal the spotlight. Izuku then teleported with the three to Dagaba Beach, which he cleaned a while ago. Izuku then gave his father signature smile and turned around to face his new friends as he greeted them. No one Pav. Location. Basketball field. Time. 2:22 p.m. We could see Izuku standing in front of his old students. Well, it was more of his father, former student reincarnated, as he gave his father signature smile. Izuku. Hello you three. Itadori. Sensei. Izuku. Now, let clear some misunderstanding. My name is Izuku Satoru, and you can guess I am one of my father descendant. Megumi. Father. Izuku. Well, you see, my current parents are neglecting me since I am quirkless, so father came as a spirit and raised me those 5 years, although he sadly had to part with me today since he passed his time limit. Nobara. The same happened to all of us. Izuku. All of us. Nobara. There is Panda, Todo, Miwa, Mai, Toj, Maki and Momo. Izuku. Well, that's lovely. Are they currently busy? Megumi. No, they probably sparring with each other far from here. Izuku, excitedly. Then let's greet them and maybe even play a game of basketball. Nobara and Itadori eye sparkle at the idea of playing a basketball as they marched in front of Izuku and Megumi excitedly. Nobara. Let's go already. Itadori. Yeah. Slowpokes, let's play basketball. Megumi. Those two are way too much. Izuku. Come on, cheer up Megumi, don't be gloomy like that. Megumi. Not you too, sensei. Izuku then dragged Megumi with him as they catch up to the two excited Nobara and Itadori, unaware that they were being followed by a man with googles, but Izuku was aware of him and knew he was an underground hero, Eraserhead. He decided to mess with him by looking directly at where he is hiding and waved to him. Eraserhead. What the hell is this kid? He knew where I was hiding, that never happened before. Eraserhead then left some distance as he observed the kid, who just continued walking away. Eraserhead. Let's see if he is involved with that so-called super villain All For One, which I hardly believe. Nezu, I expect a raise after this. Flashback hour prior. Location. Yagi household. Time. 1:07 p.m. We see All Might sitting in the couch. Next to him was his wife Inko, as right in front of them was Izawa aka the underground hero Racerhead, and next to him was Principal Nezu of UA, and next to him was Recovery Girl, the youthful heroine. Nezu, sipping tea. So let's get this straight, you want Izawa here to spy on your son the whole day, because you think he is involved with All for One. Am I missing anything? All Might. Not at all, sir. Recovery Girl, sigh. Seriously, All Might, just because the kid is natural white hair doesn't make him related to All for One. Inko. But, how did he have a quirk? We were told he was quirkless at the age of 4. Izawa, annoyed. It could be a case of a late bloomer for all we know. Nezu. That's enough, we will do what you want, All Might, although I am not quite happy with this, and after we clear your son name, you will be forced this time to take sessions with Hound Dog, because this can't continue for too long. Do I make myself clear? All Might grit his teeth. Okay, I agree with you, sir, but if he is involved with All for One, use whatever mean possible to arrest Izuku and bring him to justice. Izawa, glare. Have you really gone mad, All Might? You really going to let your son be arrested because of your hatred towards that man? I will do no such thing, I will only observe him and his action, but other than that it's out of line. Izawa stood up, still glaring at the two heroes, as he put his goggles on and walked out of the house. Nezu. I will involve Gran Torino as well because he knows how to deal with your bullshit, All Might. All Might shiver in fear as he realized that he might be in for another beating if he found out. End of flashback. No one Pav. Location. Basketball field. Time. 2:35 p.m. We see Izuku walking towards the basketball field. To hear shouting, the place was rather quiet and has not much heroes running around, so they could do whatever they want. Todo, scream. What type of woman do you like? Izuku. Ah. If it isn't Todo, he's at it again. Toj. Bonito flakes. Todo, crying. I knew it, you're boring, Toj. We then see Todo rushing towards Toj for a punch, which Toj pulled down the collar and opened his mouth. Toj. Don't move. Todo frees in his place as Toj coughed slightly as he took some medicine and pulled his collar up. Toj. Bonito flakes. Todo. Put me down, damn it, and fight me like a man. Izuku. Yo. The group looked towards Izuku, and their eyes sparkle as they rushed excitedly towards Izuku. Everyone. Gojo sensei. Izuku. Hey guys, my name is Izuku Satoru, so call me Satoru or Satoru sensei if you want. Maki. So you came back, huh? Panda. I knew Satoru sensei can't be put down. Toj. Bonito flakes. Bonito flakes. Izuku, cheerfully. So I see you're sparring, but how about we do something exciting? Izuku then out of nowhere pulled a basketball as he dribbled on the floor very quickly before spinning into his fingers, giving a grin. Izuku, grin. Let's play basketball. Todo. YEHH, let's go, brother. Todo and Itadori had their hand on each other's shoulder as they cheered. Maki gave a grin. Maki, grin. Well, that's what I am talking about, basketball, now I get to show my skills. Miwa, simping. Satoru sensei, can I take a selfie with you? Izuku. Of course, Miwa. Miwa then took a picture with Izuku as she was extremely happy and simping a lot on the picture. Izawa was seen watching from afar as he had a smirk on his face, as he is going to be entertained. It's not every day you get to watch teenager play basketball, so he got comfortable as he watched with the camera in his chest recording everything. Izawa. So Izuku is a lady killer, well that's expected with his look. The teams were like this. Team A. Itadori Yuji, Nobara Kujisaki, Megumi Fushiguro. Team B. Tojin Yamaki, Maki Zenin, Panda. Team C. Aoi Todo, Mai Zenin, Momo Nishimiya. Team D. Izuku Satoru. First match. Team A vs Team C. Round 1. Maki. Satoru sensei will be the referee of the match. Izuku, cheerfully. Now then, for the first match it will be Team A versus Team C. Who will win? Todo. No hard feeling, brother. Itadori. Brother, I will defeat you. Todo, tears. That's it, my best friend. Momo. Not to be rude, sensei, but aren't you too op? Izuku. That's why I am on a team on my own. Mai. Well, that isn't bad, it will give us challenge since we will defeat those newbies. Maki, grin. Bring it, Mai. Izuku. Now prepare your trousers and your popcorns for the first match, will begin. Itadori was seen glaring at Todo as they kept intense glare as the ball was thrown in the middle, with them jumping the same time, with Todo smirking as he positioned his foot on Itadori's face, giving him boost to the air. He then threw the ball towards Mai, who grabbed it and had a smirk on her face as Itadori fell on the floor holding his face. Itadori. No fair, bro. Todo, tear up. Forgive me, brother, but I can't lose this match as this will determine who's have a better taste in women. Nobara. Let's rumble, bitch. Mai. How rude, let me show you the difference in our level. Nobara attempted to take the ball, but Mai was fast as she passed her easily as she passed the ball in the air to Momo who was riding the broom. Nobara. Hey, get down here. Momo, tongue out. No. Momo then threw the ball at the basketball, but Itadori came and blocked the ball from reaching it, but Todo being who he is grabbed the ball that was blocked, he has used Itadori face as a spring ball before he slam dunked shaking the board. Todo. Yahhhh take that baby, did you see that Dakota-chan, this is for you. Izuku, shout. What is that, it seemed the match is turning into Team C favor with 1 o'clock for Team C. Nobara was raging while Itadori had blood running through his face as he gave a smirk to his best friend Todo. Itadori. Just because we lost doesn't mean I will lose, brother. Todo. That's the spirit. Izuku. Now for round 2. Round 2. Score. 1 o'clock for Team C. The match started with ball throw as Nobara was seen glaring at Mai as Izuku threw the ball in the air as Nobara jumped grabbing the ball as she smirked before she slammed the ball in Mai's face before she passed it to Megumi who grabbed it. Mai. Damn bitch. Nobara, smirk. How do you like that, skank? Megumi dribbled the ball towards the other side as Todo was seen smirking as he had both arms wide as if he is planning to have Megumi in a bear hug. Todo. Come to me, Megumi, and let me give you a hug. Megumi. No thanks. Megumi then passed the ball to the left in the air as Itadori was seen jumping, giving a wide smirk as he grabbed the ball, and similar to Todo, he gave a mighty slam dunk, almost taking down the board. Itadori. Nice pass, Megumi. Todo. Damn. I knew I can't defeat you that easily, brother. Izuku, excitedly. Another slam dunk from Itadori. Yuji, the score is a tie between the two, who will win. Place your bets. Maki, grin. I bet on Team A. Panda. Well, anything is fine with me, honestly. Doge. Benito flakes. Mai. Get ready to lose the bet, Maki. Maki, grin. I'd like to see that. Finale round. Score. 101. Fushiguro was seen looking at Momo with uninterested face as Momo looked at him in annoyance. The ball was thrown in the air as Momo used her broom to fly, catching the ball as she smirked, heading towards the board as she threw it once more when she knew that Itadori was far away from her. Momo. This is our win. Megumi. No, it's not. Then a crow grabbed the ball from ever scoring in the board as it flew in the air with the ball, throwing it to Nobara who grabbed it and threw the ball to the board, which hit it before Itadori followed by grabbing it and scoring for them as they cheered. Nobara. Hahaha. Take that, bitch, we won. Maki. What was that about me losing the bet, Mai? TSK. Enjoy your win, but next time we won't lose. Izuku, thumbs up. The match concluded with Team A winning with a score of 102 for Team C. But Izawa, who watching from afar, had a smirk on his face as he thought that the game will be boring with some stupid rules, but seeing drama between two girls and rivalry between two best friends brought him a lot of entertainment. He received a call to look at the caller ID to see Nezu answering. Nezu. This is so fun, so much drama, I think I like basketball now, next time I want to be there myself. Izawa. I have to agree, Nezu, I thought it would be boring, but it was rather entertaining. All Might, background. Nuo Team C should have won, I bet my fucking money on this bullshit. Nezu, laughing. Pay up, bitch. Izawa, shit-eating grin. I didn't think you people would start betting without me. Nezu, laugh. The idiot bet half of his fortune on the game and lost it to me. I am fucking rich. I am the almighty rat god. The laugher continued with Izawa shutting the phone as he looked to see the next match going to start. With Izuku. Match 2. Team A vs Team B. Round 1. Maki, grin. Watch Mai and learn how we play real basketball. Mai, annoyed. I bet on Team A. Maki, grin. Well, you'll lose, I can't wait to dry you of your money. Izuku. Now it's the second match between the undisputed Team A who have defeated Team C. Who will win? Will Team A win and go to the final match, or will they lose and walk home with empty pocket? Nobara. There is no way in hell are we losing this match. Itadori. Yahhhh. Tell M. Nobara. Fushiguro. I want to get this match over with. We see Itadori walking towards the middle of the court as Panda followed in front of him. Panda. No hearts feelings, man. Itadori. No hearts feelings. They shakes hand as Izuku gave a thumbs up. Izuku. What an amazing sportsmanship. Izuku then threw the ball in the air as Panda gave a battle cry before jumping in the air, grabbing the ball as Itadori face fell on Panda fluffy stomach. Panda, giggles. That tickles. Panda then passed the ball to Maki, who had a smirk on her face as she was intercepted by Nobara, who had a glare on her face. Maki. That glare doesn't suit you, little girl, you're way out of your league to challenge me. Maki then dribbled at fast speed, making Nobara head shake from dizziness as Maki threw the ball on Nobara, face making Nobara recoil in pain as she fell on her knees. Maki, taking the opportunity, used Nobara back before grabbing the ball once more. She then jumped in the air as she passed the ball to Toge, who grabbed it and jumped catching it and scored a point for them. Maki, smirk. Good job Toge, that's how we play basketball. Nobara, ominous aura. So you want to play dirty, huh? I will make you lose. Maki, smirk. I'd love to see that little girl. Izuku. The first round goes to Team B, 2 rounds are left, who will win. Round 2. Score. 1 o'clock for Team B. Megumi was seen walking in the middle of the court with Toge walking as well. They stand looking at each other, not showing much emotion on their face. Izuku threw the ball as Toge jumped as well, followed by Megumi pulling his collar down. Toge. Don't move. Megumi froze, which allowed for Toge to grab the ball, passing it to Panda, who received by his stomach before he grabbed the ball and started to dribble the ball. Itadori ran trying to take the ball, but Panda is no pushover. Panda. I am Panda. Panda ran his fluffy stomach towards Itadori, launching Itadori far away from him as he started running towards the board to score, with Nobara smirking as she jumped towards him, tickling him, making Panda laugh. But he won't be defeated that easily as he passed the ball to Maki, who had a grin. Maki. You might think that you can defeat Panda by tickling him, but you are underestimating him, little girl. Maki stopped at the half court as she threw the ball towards the board as she maintained her smirk. Maki. Watch and learn. The ball ended, giving them a score of 2 o'clock as they cheered, with Team A falling to the ground in lose. Well, it was more of Itadori and Nobara, while Megumi didn't care. Itadori. We need to do a comeback. Nobara. I am with you, Itadori, let's show them our power. Izuku. Well, if you look at that, the undisputed Team A is losing quickly. Well, they managed to make a comeback, or will they lose? You still have time to bet. Todo. Brother. What are you doing? Don't lose to them. My. YAHH, like, come on, I just bet on you guys and you will lose to my big sister. Miwa. Quiet down, you two. My. Shut up, Miwa, and go simp on Satoru sensei. Round 3. Score. 2 o'clock for Team B. Izuku. Now it's time for the final round in the second match. Who will win? Maki walked to the front with Nobara being opposite to her, as Maki still had her signature smirk, while Nobara had her signature frown. Maki. Ready to lose, little girl? Nobara. Just watch, we will make a comeback. Maki. Sure thing. Izuku threw the ball in the air as Nobara attempted to kick Maki, but she forgot that Maki is a skilled fighter compared to her, so Maki bent her body dodging the upcoming kick, and she retaliated with a kick of her own to Nobara's face as she grabbed the ball and smirked. Maki. Smirk. You are an amateur when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, so you lose, watch this. Maki then launched the ball to the other half of the court as Panda was seen jumping in the air, catching it as he slam dunked on the board, shaking violently. Panda. I am Panda. Izuku. The match is over with Team B winning and will be advancing to the final round. Nobara and Itadori deflated as they fell on the ground with a depressing aura around them. Fushiguro. You two stop sulking. Itadori. You don't understand, man. Nobara. Yeah, we couldn't score even 1 point. Todo the grabbed Itadori for a bear hug as he gave a mighty smile. Todo. You fought well, brother, but you were outmatched by the might of Team B. Izuku. Now it's time for Team B to fight me for the trophy. Maki. I'd say bring it on, Satoru sensei. But Izawa. Izawa was seen grinning the whole time as he enjoyed the undisputed win and had already took a liking to Maki. Izawa. If she is becoming a hero at UA, I will definitely have her in my class. Another call was made, and the caller ID showed Nezu once more as he grinned and knew that Nezu will be boasting right now for another successful bet, so he answered. Nezu, laugh. Ha. I won another BETTTT, the bastard bet 8% of his fortune. Now I am standing with 58% of All Might fortune. All Might, background. No, my fortune is being annihilated by the rat god. Nezu laughed manically as Izawa chuckled as well before hanging up once more. But Izuku. Match 3. Team B vs Team D. Round 1. Maki. Ready to lose, sensei. Izuku. Let's not get cocky, Maki. Miwa, cheering. I bet on Satoru sensei. Itadori. Go sensei. Nobara. Take revenge for us. Izuku walked to the middle with Panda following as well. Todo walked in between them as he threw the ball in the air. Izuku smirked as he grabbed the ball easily by jumping really fast that he was mistaken to be teleported. Panda tried to take the ball, but sadly for him he was dealing with a Satoru, so he couldn't even touch him. Izuku. I have placed infinity around me, so you lose. Izuku then made a work out of the three, as Toji attempted to stop Izuku in his track, but he was dealing with Izuku Satoru, who have more curse energy than him, so he started to cough blood as Izuku jumped in the air as he slam dunked, scoring 1 point. Izuku, this game is as good as mine. Panda, well, I don't expect to win honestly. Maki, TSK. We will win this, so don't lose hope, Panda. Doge, Benito Flakes. Round 2. Score, 1 o'clock for Team D. Maki was seen walking to the middle to face Izuku, who when the ball was thrown to the air, she managed to adjust her body in a way that made Izuku have hard time catching the ball, as she smirked passing the ball to Toji, who dribbled the ball towards the board, but Izuku smirked back as he teleported towards Toji and grabbed the ball simply out of his hand. Izuku, thank you. Izuku then teleported behind Toji as he started dribbling towards the board, with Panda standing trying to stop Izuku, but he could only be useful to Izuku, as he was used as spring to launch Izuku to the board, only for him to slam dunk, scoring a point. Itadori, go sensei. Nobara, have a taste of what it feels to lose Team B. Round 3. Score, 2 o'clock for Team D. Doge walked to the middle as Izuku followed as well. The ball was thrown for the last time, with Izuku jumping in the air with Toji using his curse power to freeze Izuku as he grabbed the ball, passing it to Maki, who resorted to shooting it from afar, which sadly for her didn't work, as in an instance Izuku was sitting in the board grabbing the ball. He smiled. Izuku, this is how we do it. Izuku threw the ball from his board to the other board, and sadly for Team B, he scored a point winning the match. Maki, sigh. Well, that's expected from the man who we can't even touch. Panda, well, it was fun at least for me. Doge, Benito Flakes. Izuku, good job you three, you might have lost, but you did well fighting against me. Maki, smile. Thank you. Now I need some rest. Miwa was seen holding a lot of bottles as everyone went to get one as she walked with a water bottle to Izuku and gave it to him with a smile and blush on her face. Izuku smiled back as he drank from it as she started to simp once more. Miwa thought simping. He drank from it. Both Itadori and Nobara ran towards Izuku as they jumped on him, hugging him as they celebrated with celebrating it as well. The group then spent some time talking as they had fun time playing basketball, and they parted ways, but Izuku has managed to capture the hearts of the girls in this game, and that was Mai, Maki, Miwa and Nobara. As for All Might, well, he lost 75% of his fortune on his bet with Nezu. Well, it was his fault for betting against the guy in the first place, but Nezu had now his eyes set on making Izuku a hero in UA, as he saw that the power to block any attack from reaching him to be quite up, and he won't let All Might ruin it. No one Pav. Yagi residence. Izuku can be seen walking through the street after a fun day of playing basketball. He have already bought his new house, which he saved after 5 years of stealing from his former parents' bank account and doing jobs for the Uraraka family, who was quite struggling, which made them get more client, and the Uraraka were grateful and paid him more than they agreed on. The house he bought was a Japanese style and was a simple 2-story house. It was perfectly made for him. Now Izuku could be now seen walking towards his former house to get few things that he would want to bring with him, as his father's death made him want to move out of the house already, as he doesn't want to replace those good memories with bad ones. The house he bought, he spent time to time there with his father, so it was his second home, but now it is his main home. Opening the door of the house nonchalantly, he walked inside, passing by Principal Nezu, Recovery Girl, Azawa, Toshinori, Inko and Izumi. Toshinori. Son, we need to talk. Izuku continued walking, not listening to Toshinori as he didn't consider him as a father, but Izuku could sense someone trying to touch him, which didn't work. Izuku never put down infinity unless he is alone in his home, as the Yagi residence is like an enemy territory for him. Izumi. Izuku, father wants to talk to you. Izuku turned around to see the guest and the person who was watching him the whole time as he gave a smirk. Izuku. So did you enjoy the game of basketball? Izawa. I was right, you knew I was watching. How? Izuku. My secret. Toshinori. Son, we need to talk about your supposed quirk and where you got it from. Izuku, although he was angry at how he was being noticed now for having cursed energy, but he never showed it perks of having to watch scary movies like Conjurer. That movie was beyond sadistic. Izuku, playfully. Hold on there. Why are you calling me son? I only had one family, and that is my father, who sadly passed away recently, so I don't really know you. Inko. What do you mean, son? We are your parents. Izumi, pout. Stop playing around, big brother. Izuku, monotone. I never had a family, you people only served to give me roof on top of my head, but now I have no need for you. Enjoy doting over Izumi like you always did. I really hate how you now notice that I live here just because I showed to have quirk, and now you are interested in me. I suggest you get away from my personal business because you have lost that right when I was told I was. Quirkless at the age of 4 where you shunned me away, and Mrs. Perfect here along with Bakugo thought it was a good idea to bully the quirkless kid, so it's best to cut what little tie left between us. Also please call me Izuku Gojo. That's the name I was going with for 5 years. It's a surprise really that you didn't notice that I changed my last name. Everyone was taken aback by Izuku's answer, which had no emotion from it like it was normal for him, and that saddened recovery girl that someone like him would get used to having to be responsible. Nezu was pissed along with Aizawa as they glared at the Yagis who flinched. Izuku. Also I now have my answer as to why you hated me Toshinori Yagi, even before the quirk doctor, when Eraserhead here was spying on me, I was listening to what he was saying, and now it confirms it. You hated me from when I was infant, because of my natural white hair, because I remind you of the person who put a hole in your stomach. His name was All For One if I am not mistaken. Toshinori Yagi, shocked. Wait, you knew? Izuku. Of course, also I came here to get few of my old clothes to sell it for cash. To be honest, it no longer has any use to me, besides giving me extra money, and I will be moving to my new house which I saved from working odd jobs. One of them was paying me well, since I helped them to get more client, so I am satisfied I survived from a small age of 4, so why would I need you all now? Izuku then walked away, not leaving any room for argument as they tried to call him, but he just teleported away to his old room, leaving Nezu and Aizawa and Recovery Girl to chew the Yagi out. Recovery Girl. I knew you were mentally unstable Toshinori, but never have I thought you would take your hatred out on a fucking child. Nezu. Not to mention you were quirkless. I thought you'd feel some type of kinship that both of you were ostracized by society beliefs on quirk and quirkless and villainous. I will be calling Gran Torino after this and have him deal with the rest, because right now I don't know what to do with you because you have greatly disappointed me. Aizawa. I might have enjoyed watching those teens play, but you also wasted my time which I could have used to sleeper patrol. Also congratulations, by sending me to spy on Izuku, you give him the impression that you don't trust him to act his age, although he is more mature than you, despite only being 15 years old. Nezu. Also I will be opening a case on Aldera and uncover their role in Izuku life before I lay my judgment on you Izumi Yagi, because depending on what you did could lead to many things you wouldn't like the result, and not even your daddy could help you get away from punishment. We will be taking our leave. Have a good day, and thank you for giving me all that money All Might. Nezu waved the check which had 58% of All Might fortune, as he had a grin on his face, as he could see why he won today's bet. It was karma coming into play and is punishing All Might for being the worst father. Izuku has now already gathered all shirts, shorts, boxers, anything that he no longer has need for, and still maintained a good quality. He placed in a box before teleporting away and sold it, which earned him a few $500, which was good for him. Now Izuku is seen walking towards his new house as he got inside, placing his shoes to the front of the door as he took a deep breath, enjoying the scent of being finally at home. Izuku. I am finally home. Izuku then walked to the kitchen as he looked at a wall which had a picture of him and his father Satoru. Izuku. Just watch me grow, father, I will make you proud. Izuku ate that night alone as he then sat to watch a few movies alone before he took off to bed and rested after a long tiring day as he looked forward to seeing what the future holds for him and his friends. No one Pav. It has been a month ever since Izuku moved to his other house. The Yagis have been trying to make amends with Izuku, who has no longer the need for them or their apology as he now have friends who he greatly considers as family. Now we could see Izuku walking on the streets of Musatafu. He sighed as nothing major happened, but he could sense a fighting going on, so he rushed towards an alleyway to see a girl with white hair and cloth around her eyes like him fighting thugs who seemed to not be fazed by her punches as the guy smirked. Thug. Why don't you stop this futile fighting and come with us, sweetheart? To be. Get away from me, you creeps. Thug 2. Well, you have no choice but to come with us and let us have fun with your body. Doobie started to back away in fear as she is cornered. She is quirkless, what can she hope to do, and wished someone would rescue her, and her wish was granted as Izuku landed in front of her. Izuku. Stay behind me. Doobie complied, but she blushed when she saw the handsome face of Izuku who looked like her. It was a love at first sight, as her princess came to save her. Not wanting to be a burden, she stayed behind Izuku back as she felt warmth and safety. Ugh. Damn kid getting in our way. Ugh 2. Let's teach him what happens when he decide to play the hero. The thugs, being arrogant, rushed towards Izuku in hopes of hurting him or even killing him, but their attacks never connected as Izuku had infinity placed around him. Izuku let out a smirk on his face as in a second the thugs fell on the ground as their body were bent unnaturally as they screamed in pain. Izuku looked towards 2B, ignoring their scream as they fainted later. Tech at 321. Izuku. Hello, the name is Izuku Gojo, nice to meet you, what's your name? 2B, blushing. My name is 2B, thank you for saving me. Izuku, smile. It's okay, you should call your parents to pick you up. 2B, look down. My parents abandoned me for being quirkless. She started tearing up before she started crying as she thought that her crush will leave her as well, but she was met with a warm hug as she looked up to see a sad Izuku who was on one knee and had her in a warm hug that promised safety, that nobody could touch her anymore or even hurt her. Izuku, I am also quirkless. To be. But how did you do that? Izuku, all will be explained, but I have an offer. I live alone currently. How about you come with me? I can't let you live on the street where you will be targeted like before. To be, shyly. But I don't want to be a bother. To be wanted to go badly with him, but she still thinks she will be a burden to him, but Izuku wouldn't let her continue as he grabbed her bridal style, making her blush before he teleported away in front of his house. To be. Do you really live alone? Izuku. Yep. I will also explain to you why, but first let's get you inside and give you new clothes rather than the torn one that you are wearing. Izuku smiled warmly at her as she nodded shyly as she hid her face in his chest. Izuku had already fell for the girl the moment he saw her, but he wouldn't rush something like that, especially when she got almost raped on the streets. Opening the door of his house, he walked inside, placing his shoes on the front as he walked her to the guest room. Izuku. That should be your new room, and next to it is your personal bathroom. I will be bringing shirts and shorts to get changed into a more comfortable clothes. To be. But isn't that a bit much? Izuku. No, not at all. I have a lot of money to throw at furniture or anything that I want. Beside, I don't usually buy much as I am quite happy with what I have. Izuku then brought a black shirt along with a short and gave it to her as he decided to leave, but she grabbed onto his shirt as she was slightly trembling. To be. Please don't leave me. Izuku knew she was traumatized and that she is afraid that Izuku will abandon her as well, but he wouldn't, so he grabbed her into a hug as she hugged back and started to sob on his shirt as Izuku let her scream her emotion out before she calmed down and wiped her eyes as Izuku placed a kiss to her forehead. Izuku. Now go take some hot and nice shower, then change into this comfy clothes and come outside so you can eat with me. How does that sound? To be. I would like that. Izuku. Good. Now I will leave to prepare dinner. Izuku walked out of the room as she grabbed her chest as her heart was beating quite fast and a blush rushed through her face as she walked to the bathroom with the shirts and short and took a shower, leaving Izuku to prepare dinner. Izuku has figured that 2B has curse energy, but he doesn't know what kind of ability she possesses, so he will just have her awaken it and find out. 2B walked 1 hour later with the clothes and Izuku blushed as she looked good in it. She also had a blush, but she had a small smile as Izuku gestured her to sit down and to dig, in which she ate, and Izuku started talking with her and told her about his life, then told her about curse energy and that she possessed curse energy and that he will help her awaken it. That made her happy as her dream of becoming a hero isn't impossible, and the fact that her and Izuku had similar backstory made her heart warm in happiness. It was now 11:02 am and it was time to sleep. Izuku was seen walking to his room, but he was grabbed by 2B. Izuku. 2B, is there something you need? 2B. Blush. Can I sleep with you today? Izuku. Blush slightly. Of course. 2B smiled as Izuku led her to his room before Izuku got in bed, and she got in bed as well. She then shyly wrapped her arms around him as Izuku did the same. Izuku then give her a peck on her forehead. Izuku. Good night 2B. 2B. Good night Izuku-kun. 2B then slept immediately with a smile on her face as Izuku smiled as well at seeing her happy, and the day was quite interesting to say the least, as he might have found a potential lover. No one Pav. The next day, Izuku has woken up groggily as he tried to move his body, but he found himself restrained. He looked at the culprit to find 2B sleeping on top of him, hugging him tightly. He sighed as he knew she is afraid he would leave her alone, so he poked her cheek slightly, making her open her eyes slowly as she adjusted her eyes to see a smiling Izuku. Izuku. Smile. Had a good night's sleep. 2B. Blush. Yeah, sorry about that. Izuku. Teasingly. Hey, it's okay, I don't really mind, it's not every day you have a beauty like yourself hugging me in my sleep. 2B could only blush as she buried her face in his chest more. Izuku smiled as he picked her up bridal style, walking out of the room as he placed her on the chair. Izuku. Cheerfully. Now sit here, I will prepare some breakfast. How about pancakes? Izuku said pancake, dramatically making 2B giggle at how Izuku is energetic in the morning. 2B. You really are energetic in the morning. Izuku. Well, that is something I inherited from my ancestor, or what I like to call him, Dad. 2B. He must be quite a good person. Izuku. That he was. It took roughly 30 minutes for Izuku to finish a lot of batch of pancakes as he placed them on the table and placed a crazy amount of syrup on his, making 2B giggle at how Izuku can sometimes be childish. Izuku. Now dig in. 2B started eating the food as Izuku looked at her expecting a compliment, but she only teared up. Izuku got worried and kept frantically apologizing, but she just hugged him. 2B. It's just the food tastes delicious and I never received something like that. Izuku, smile. It's okay, you better get used to it. Dubi nodded her head shyly as she started to eat the food much quicker, making Izuku quite happy. After they finished eating and washing their hand, Izuku took her out of the house in a training field he created. Izuku. Now Dubi, I want you to remove the blindfold from your eyes. Dubi complied as Izuku was mesmerized by her blue eyes, but he also removed his blindfold and looked at her eyes, and then shock was evident in his eyes. Izuku. Well, that is an amazing curse energy. It seems if trained enough you can see people body weakness or create one, and use it to hit those points. Think of it like a pressure point of some sort. Dubi was shocked at the power she possessed, but she didn't understand how she is going to mold her curse energy. Dubi. But how will I be able to mold my curse energy? Izuku. Well, that is quite simple. Like the name implies, it's an energy that is inside each one of us. If you concentrate enough you will find it inside you, but this time to have your eyes activated, put curse energy in your eyes, and it will work. Dubi then started concentrating. As opening her eyes she could see Izuku body weakness like throat and other areas. Dubi. Can't believe I can see your weakness. Izuku. Well, good, but now you need to control emotion because curse energy is derived from hate, anger, sadness, loneliness and other emotion, so we will work on that by watching movies. Izuku pulled a lot of movie CDs with a smile on his face, making Dubi sweat drop, but when she saw what type of movie she will see got her extremely scared. Dubi. You won't make me watch those movie, won't you? Izuku. Well, that is how my father trained me. Don't worry, you will get used to it. Dubi. Okay. To say that Dubi was traumatized was an understatement. The amount of horror movie she watched was insane, not to mention those depression movies. She had cried the whole night while being comforted by Izuku. No one Pav. Location. Gojo, residence. It has been quite a few months ever since Izuku has met Dubi. Obviously he was aware that Dubi never had a last name, since her parents pretty much disowned her due to her being quirkless, so Izuku being the kind person he has decided to give her the permission to take his last name. She obviously cried that day in happiness, but she was completely ecstatic to be part of a family, rather than being known as a homeless or parentless. Izuku after that introduced her to his friend students, and they clicked well together, and Dubi was a little overwhelmed with the amount of compliments she received. Some even thought that Dubi and Izuku looked cute together. Even Todo himself cried tears of joy, as he talked about how Izuku taste in women is good since to Todo. Dubi fit the description of the type of his women, since she is tall and had a big ass, but he was still obsessed with Takata-chan. Izuku has obviously started training Dubi in using her curse energy. She managed to get over the horror and drama movies that she was made to watch, and she became a little too hard to get her scared, which she was thankful, although she was a little traumatized, but having Izuku with her made it even more better, as she saw Izuku as her savior and protector. She knew about his infinity that he would cast on himself and on her as well, which made her feel safe. Izuku has also give her a gift at her birthday, which was a beautiful sword that one of his ancestors used before. She was obviously reluctant to accept something like that, but Izuku insisted that she take it, so she obviously took it, and she treasured it more than anything and cared too much for it deeply, since it was from the one person she likes and since Izuku trusted her with a family heirloom. Now we could see Dubi standing in front of Izuku's bedroom. She knocked shyly on the door, which was opened by a shirtless Izuku. She obviously had to stop the nosebleed, with Izuku looking at her amused as he knew what she was thinking and could see her intention, and he was shocked that she had feelings for him, but he needed to hear it from her. He kind of felt bad that he wasn't the one to tell her his feelings. Dubi, shyly. Hello, Izuku-kun. Izuku. Hello Dubi-chan, anything you need? Dubi. I wanted to ask if you would like to go out on a date with me. You don't need 2 miles per hour. Izuku had his confirmation before he grabbed her chin while she was talking shyly before he smashed his lips with hers. Dubi couldn't fathom the warm feeling that she was having. Her heart started beating faster, and a tear came out of her eyes as she was worried for nothing. Her feelings were reciprocated. She wrapped her arms around his neck as she kissed back with much force than anything in her life before. She didn't want this moment to end, she wanted it to last forever. Izuku separated from the kiss with a smile on his face. Izuku. Does that answer your question? I have to admit I really liked you from the beginning, to be honest, but I didn't want to make you uncomfortable, since you never had an easy life growing up and thought you needed time to sort your life and get comfortable at having friends who accept you for who you are, and you know the gist. Dubi was surprised that her crush had feelings for her to begin with, but he chose to put it aside and prioritize her feelings above anything else. She was honestly grateful that she met Izuku, that he wasn't like those horny teenagers nowadays who would catcall her on the streets back then or try to invite her to their home. Dubi, blush. Thank you for taking my feelings into consideration. Nobody had really done that to me in the past. Izuku, teasingly. Well, I am not like everyone besides you are a family, and now you are my girlfriend, and who know maybe even my future wife. Tubi imagined herself being in a white wedding dress and getting married to Izuku. She was slightly overwhelmed as smoke started coming out of her ears with Izuku chuckling. Tubi, twiddle her fingers. Well, I wouldn't dislike the idea of us getting married. Izuku laughed slightly as he hugged her once more. While she finally had relaxed into his arm, they decided that it was too late, and they will decide on the date, which was tomorrow, since they had nothing to do and their friends had their own life to deal with. They then went to Izuku's bedroom as she hugged him as she wore a rather nice black sports bra and black pants. Izuku could definitely say that she is extremely sexy in his eyes. Giving her one last peck on the lips, they drifted to sleep with a smile plaster on their face. No one pav. Next day. We could see Izuku and Tubi eating happily with each other as they have cooked a beacon egg before they decided that they should prepare for their date, and Tubi headed towards her room, which she decided to pick the clothes for the event. Her eyes darted towards the sunglasses. It was obviously one of Izuku's many gifts. Izuku told her that it isn't necessary to have her eye blindfolded. Anything that cover her eyes, whether sunglasses or not, is enough to help her not being overwhelmed by her curse energy. She put on her dress for the date as she stared at the mirror, and she was honestly mesmerized by her looks. Izuku had always a way with fashion, so she obviously looked like a high school girl. She went out to be met with her charming Prince Izuku, who sported a similar sunglasses and a dress that would make any girl in the vicinity drool or faint from blood loss. His clothes was a traditional Japanese clothes. Well, that is also one of the reasons he got a lot of offer from model agencies. Izuku, are you ready for our date, my princess? Tubi, blush. Yes, I am ready, my prince. Izuku locked his arm with Tubi's arm as they looked like an amazing couple as he walked out of the house, making sure to have everything with him from keys, wallet and phone. They managed to get on the main street. As they walked on the streets, ignoring the looks of jealousy from both gender, while some squealed at the perfect match. Even a pink-haired girl with a horn along with an invisible girl were taking a lot of pictures while squealing, which made Izuku amused, although Tubi blushed slightly at the attention they were having, but she felt lucky that she was dating Izuku. Of all people. Izuku first brought her to a nearby shopping mall, where he had bought her a lot of gifts despite her protest, but he wanted to spoil her a lot on their date. She was of course happy with how much he liked her, but she was rather modest and doesn't like expensive thing. She was then later taken to the cinema where they watched an action movie which revolves around sword fighting, which the name of the movie is Rurouni Kenshin, who was also made as an anime series. Tubi couldn't hold her amazement towards the techniques that she witnessed. She knew that it was mostly fake since it was a movie, but the fights gave her inspiration to try those techniques at a much later date. She knew that Izuku is also good at sword fighting, but just like his father, he doesn't like to rely on weapon, not because he hated, but because if that weapon were to be taken from him, then he will be defenseless, or more like he won't be able to fight with his max power. Something he drilled it into her head as he had taught her from hand-to-hand combat along with martial arts. Then he taught her how to use all kind of weapons ranging from swords, katana, nunchucks, pocket knife and many more, and she was honestly grateful as he had once had her fight in with him not using infinity, so he was open to attack. She was never able to scratch him once, despite fighting quirkless the whole time, all because the first thing Izuku did was take her weapon away and made her fight him once more with her weapon, and she managed to graze him. That showed her that having her weapon taken from her made her unable to fight to her fullest capability. She was happy to have had a good sensei and a good crush. She now knows why their friends would often refer him as sensei. Izuku. So how was the movie? Tubi. It was great actually. I really liked the techniques demonstrated and the type of situation they created, something I will definitely take into consideration. Izuku. Good, you saw what happened, didn't you? Tubi. Yeah, you are right, he had his sword taken from him, that's why he got killed easily, despite his reputation of being a master swordsman who was feared across the land. Izuku, smile. Good, you noticed it, but I am sure you are gonna become a strong swordsman, even better than Kenshin. Tubi, giggle. You know he is a fictional character. Izuku, smile. Yeah. I know, I just want to tell you that you will do even greater than those fictional characters. Tubi, thank you Izu. Izuku. No problem, princess. They decided to go to the arcade where they played many variety of games, and Tubi was having a blast. They even took many photo booths together, and she would always hug those pictures to her chest, and she knew she would cherish those pictures forever. She even had created a secret album of her and Izuku only, but Izuku knew everything that happened, and he was quite happy. To end the date, they decided to go to a coffee shop where she ordered a chocolate smoothie with Izuku, ordering the same. They even had times where they drank from each other's smoothie. They were quite happy with how their day went as they headed home, quite pleased with their first successful date. No one pav. Izuku could be seen walking towards the entrance of UA. 2B was close to him, making the girls in the vicinity burn in jealousy. Some even try to convince themselves that they are siblings. Todo was seen nodding, feeling proud of how sensei knows how to get his priorities straight. Itadori and Nobara were talking excitedly about how they are gonna obliterate the test, with Fushiguro following them annoyed. Panda and Toji and Maki were walking together as well, keeping the talk to a minimum. Mai and Todo along with Nishimiya were walking together, with Todo telling Mai about Takata-chan and how great she is. Walking inside the auditorium, they took an entire row for themselves because why not. They all sat comfortably as 2B was leaning her head to Izuku's shoulder, with him having his arm wrapped around her waist to make her comfortable. Izuku had looked around him and could see a blue-haired kid with glasses looking at him with stern look, and he sighed as he knew his type already. The light is shut down as a man with brown trench coat and weird face walked to the podium that would be a hero and a staff at UA called Ectoplasm. Ectoplasm. Hello aspiring heroes, today you will be doing the written portion of the entrance exam. I wish you all luck and the exams will be passed. I don't need to remind any of you that cheating is prohibited and any who is caught will be disqualified. The people seemed to take that without any problem as he cloned himself and started to pass the exams to everyone in the auditorium. Izuku and his group was seen filling their names on the paper as they sat quietly waiting for the start of the exam. Ectoplasm. Now you can all turn your papers, I wish you all luck. Everyone opened their exams paper and started filling it in. Izuku and his group was seen filling the paper with no problem, with Todo and Itadori and Nobara having slight problem, but they were doing okay as they had lessons with Izuku. It has been an hour and a half and everyone was done with the exam as Ectoplasm proceeded to take the paper before he told us to wait for further instruction on the battle portion. They were interrupted by a blonde man with a hair that looked like a banana walking out with a wide smile. The guy took a deep breath. Present Mick. Hello everybody, can I get a hey? Everyone remained silent while they could hear the annoyed voice of Nobara. Present Mick. Tough crowd. Now today you rocking boys and girl will be doing the practical test where you will have to destroy 3 robots. Sadly for him, Present Mick couldn't continue as a blue-haired kid interrupted him by raising his hand. Present Mick couldn't decline him. Present Mick asked. Yes, examiner number 142, what is your question? Blue-haired kid stood up. It says here that there is 4 robots, but you only mentioned 3. If this is a misprint in UA material, then this school should be ashamed. We are exemplary students. We expect the best from Japan most notable school. A mistake such as this won't do. And you, the white hair boy with glasses and white hair girl with glasses, you two haven't been taking this seriously from the start and are busy being lovey-dovey. I suggest you leave. The bar was planning to rip him a new one, but Izuku decided to save the poor soul from her wrath, but decided to humiliate him. Izuku, teasingly. Whoa. Sorry dude, I didn't know you were jealous, but hey, piece of advice, get that stick of your ass if you want to have a girlfriend. The blue-haired kid blushed at being called jealous as he sat down, and by now everyone was laughing. Even Present Mick couldn't help release a laugh as he himself enjoyed some drama, and he had to admit what Izuku said is true. Present Mick. For your earlier question, examiner number 142, the 4th robot is a 0-pointer and won't gain you anything. That's why it's best if you avoid it. Now everyone will be assigned to a battle center, so check your cards that is under your chairs. Izuku then picked his card from underneath his chair as he found himself being assigned at Battle Center B. He looked at 2B to see her also assigned to Battle Center B as he grinned, while 2B smiled as she would be close to Izuku. Izuku. It seems we are going to be together. 2B. 2B. Yes, that is great actually. Izuku. What about you guys? Maki. Me and Toji and Panda are assigned in Battle Center D. Me and Nishiyama and Todo are together in Battle Center E. Fushiguro. Me, Itadori and Nobara are together in Battle Center C. Miwa. I am in Battle Center D. Izuku. Well, I wish you all luck and make sure to destroy this test. Maki, grin. Do you really have to tell us that? Everyone then started to head to the changing room as they changed to some tracksuit, with 2B bringing her sword as she had submitted a paper that allowed her to use a support item, which UA didn't really mind and accepted it. 2B and Izuku was seen getting inside the bus that will take them as they sat next to each other. Izuku could already sense the looks that he is receiving from the girls, but he just ignored them as he brought 2B close to him as she started to close her eyes to rest. Of course, that resulted in a lot of girl to be jealous, but they can't do anything as the bus started to move. No one pav. We could see both couples, Izuku Gojo and 2B, standing in front of the gates of the fake city B. Both of them were the center of attention, and who can blame them right now? They have one of the hottest boy that could possibly be a model and a girl whose beauty is unmatched. The first thought of everyone was that they are siblings, meaning that they are single. Izuku could see what appeared to be one of the shortest kid with a grape in his head, staring with lust eyes at his girlfriend. His tiny thing was poking his pants. Normally Izuku would get angry at this, but he have to keep his cool in front of the staff, but doesn't mean he wasn't plotting something in his head. Izuku thought. Now the kid think he can stare at my girlfriend with those eyes, I will kill him, but how? I will intentionally destroy a building and have it fall on him and squash him like the bug he is. To be, whisper. I know what you are thinking, but don't kill anyone, maybe hurt them, but killing them will mean you will be disqualified. Izuku, smile. Okay. Now let's get in front to get a head start. To be. Sure. Izuku walked, but pretended not to see the short kid and pretty much stomped on him, not before rubbing his shoes on his shirt, and walked like it was nobody business before he looked behind him, looking around him pretending to be confused. Izuku. I could have swore I walked on something, probably a bug. Izuku walked back to 2B, who was amused, and everyone was terrified of Izuku because he had no problems walking over someone and rubbing his shoes on him. The kid, of course, had run away to a corner, not wanting to face Izuku's wrath. A hand reached Izuku's shoulder, turning him to see a blue-haired kid with glasses and what appears to be engine stuck in his calf. Izuku. How may I help you? Iida, angry. I want to ask you why you stomped on that poor kid. Izuku. So I did walk on someone, my bad, I didn't see him, as you see, points at his eyes which was covered, both my eyes are covered. Iida. Then why cover it if it hinders you? Izuku. Part of my abilities is in my eyes, if I don't cover it well I will be overwhelmed as it doesn't have a shut off button. Iida. I see, I apologize. Iida then walked away, leaving Izuku and 2B, who had been a little worried because it should be time for everything to start. Izuku pat her head as she calmed down. Izuku. Don't worry, we have trained for this, so you shouldn't worry about anything, besides I am here for you. 2B. Thank you Izu, I was just a little worried, that's all, after all UA is my dream high school. Izuku. I understand, my advice is to be calm, or we will have to rewatch those awesome horror movies. 2B. Pale. None of that. Izuku. Okay. Just give it your all and I am right next to you. 2B. Thanks. Izuku then looked at the tower to see Present Mick climbing the tower, as he had a smile plaster on his face. He took a deep breath once more. Present Mick. Are you ready? Nobody obviously responded to his hype as the guy quickly deflated as the metal door opened slowly with Izuku and 2B rushing inside. Izuku was seen punching robots and teleporting to find others, while 2B was slashing everything that comes in its way with her sword. I won. What the hell are you two doing? Present Mick didn't say start. Present Mick. Hey. What are you all doing? There is no countdown in a real battle now, follow his lead. Go. Go. Everyone paled at Present Mick answer as they all rushed inside the city to see the aftermath. As robots were scattered, they were destroyed and cut in half, some were obliterated, there was nothing left. I3. Shit. If this continues we are royally screwed. No one Pav. Location. Staff room. Cementos. Quite a good batch this year. Principal Nezu. It is indeed. Izawa. So am I going to have them in my class? Nezu. Yes, you get to have them all, just train them well. Izawa. Don't worry, I will make sure they receive a proper training and become proper heroes, unlike some people. Glare at All Might and Psychic. All Might, worried. What about Izumi, how is she doing? Nezu, grin. Average. Psychic. Like how much she scored? Nezu, grin. 32 points. As for the four of them, they scored above 50 points. All Might and Psychic sigh as their eyes darted towards the screen that shows City Center B, and they could only feel disappointment for not being the ones to help Izuku reach his potential or even believe in him, but now they are paying for it. Midnight licks her lips. But I got to say, that Gojo kid is definitely my type. Izawa, unimpressed. So you are a pedophile now? Midnight. What? Nezu. You do know that he is only 16 years old. Midnight, pout. Oh man, I don't mind waiting another 2 years. Izawa. He is already taken by the white hair girl. Snipe. Really? I thought they were siblings because they have the same last name. Midnight, grin. Incest. Izawa. No. Izuku took her in after he saved her from being raped, and then shortly after, a few months, he gave her his last name because she was abandoned. Nezu. Now then, let the final phase of the battle portion began. Nezu unlocked the safety glass as he smashed his paw on the red button with a feral grin, wanting to hear the screams of those humans. No one Pav. Location. Battle Center B. Izuku could be seen running punching robots before he found the dwarf kid. He grinned before he punched a robot to a building, which resulted in the said building to almost squash the kid, who screamed in fear, but luckily he managed to escape by 1 inch of his life. Izuku thought. He is lucky, but next time I won't fail. The ground started to shake violently as the zero-pointer appeared towering over the buildings. It started to grip the two buildings next to it and started applying pressure, making the two buildings to fall on the ground. Izuku. They really went all out this year. Izuku then brought a finger with everybody screaming while running away from the zero-pointer. A red aura appeared in his finger, his smile was still on his face. Izuku. Curse technique reversal. Red. The blast upon release obliterated the zero-pointer, and everything that was behind it, nothing was spared. Everyone looked in horror, as pretty much almost the entire half of City B was wiped out by just one attack. Izuku. Man, it was extremely weak. A three-pointer tried attacking Izuku from behind, but it was cut in half, revealing 2B, who had a smile on her face. 2B. You are still reckless as ever. Izuku. Thanks for having my back, babe. 2B. No problem, I will always have your back, Izu. No one Pav. Location. Staff room. Lad. Well, they definitely got in. Cementos. My fake CITYYY, damn it, I will have to rebuild those again. Everyone ignored the cries of Cementos because who cares? Izawa. Well, I didn't expect him to be able to wipe out the entire zero-pointer, but he is my nephew, so I shouldn't really expected less from him. Nezu. I guess we will have to train him differently, don't want to make this a habit. Cementos. Thank God. Nezu. Definitely going to have Cementos build a special training ground for them. Cementos fainted on the ground. No one Pav. Location. Battle Center B. Present Mick. That test is over, please head to the front of the fake city that you are in. Izuku along with 2B had left the Battle Center B to meet with the others, and we could see Itadori and Nobara cheering for pretty much destroying the competition, while Fushiguro was annoyed. Todo was checking out girls that fits the description of the girl he likes. Mai and Maki were arguing at who got the highest score. Well, we've reached the latest chapter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. With that, take care.